everybody, it's Jack Ballou. Thanks for tuning back in to my horse fitness YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about what I consider one of the most useful for efficiency exercises that any rider can do, any discipline. And those are simply trot to canter transitions. Those of you on gaited horses, it would be from your working gait to your canter. I've talked about the benefits of these transitions in my Supremely Supple online course for making your horse looser, so I won't spend a lot of time on that now, but just real quickly, when in the working gait or working trot, the horse's long back muscles all along his top line, that top chain, they are necessarily a bit more rigid and firm because they have to balance out the in the trot, the diagonal movement of the legs. So to keep the spine firm and not all, wishy-washy all over the place, they have to be necessarily a little bit rigid or stiff. So that has its positive gains from a strength standpoint, but it also has its negative repercussions, which are that it can become too stiff, too rigid, right? In canter, what happens is the horse moves with they've done studies to prove that they propel themselves forward with the strongest, fullest recruitment of the back muscles, especially the low back muscles, followed by a complete release of that contraction as the horse bounds over the ground, right? So you have this really forceful firing of those muscles, on, off, on, off. So when you alternate between trot and canter, you get this really full but loose and flexible recruitment of the back muscles because you're switching from that more static balancing posture to those wave-like pulsations. And so what it does is really wake up and stimulate and deliver blood flow to the long back muscles. And you get this incredible loosening effect in what we call the loin, or the area behind your saddle. And this allows the horse to move better. So let me demonstrate, again, this is from a conditioning standpoint. So we're not going to be fussy if Diamante maybe lifts his head a little bit in one of the transitions, or maybe I don't ride it perfectly. We're not going to worry about that right now, today. We're saying I'm going to work on trot canter transitions today. I'm going to do at least a half dozen in each direction to get a nice conditioning benefit. So up to the canter we go. And I stay in the canter long enough to kind of get myself organized and get the horse organized. And now I'm just going to come back down to the trot. So again, that was not a perfect transition. Diamante kind of lost a little bit of energy and sort of threw his head up a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about it. And I'm going to go back up to the canter. And the thing is, you want to stay committed to this sequence. So pretty quick together with your transitions is what I mean. What tends to happen with us riders is we'll say, oh, let me get into the canter. Well, this isn't a perfect canter. I want to hang out here and get this a little bit more, off the forehand and a little bit better balance. And then you end up going around in the canter, which is not the goal. The goal is to use these transitions and let them work for you. So stay out of your head. Stay in the exercise and just try to have some fun. Look up, look at the pretty sky. That's why it's good for me to ride out here. I remind myself to look up, find some rhythm, and as you ride, like I say, at least a half dozen of these in each direction, the horse really begins to loosen up with his gait and swing across the ground with much better movement. So stay in the exercise. Stay out of your head and let the exercise really loosen them up. So trot to canter transitions, incredibly valuable. This has been Jack Ballou. Thanks for tuning in.